Good start. Good start. What
All right.
movie were we talking about?
The Autopsy of Jane Doe, directed by Andre Urral. 2016. What's your word? What, you got a word? That's your word, Jake. I mean, Schwartz. It was your pick.
I'm gonna go original.
Okay.
Okay.
Not many horror movies you could say are original, and this was very original.
Jake.
Maybe. It was kind of underwhelming. I expected more.
Interesting.
I'm just gonna say cold.
It is very cold, actually.
It did look cold in there.
It's a good word.
Especially because it's about dead people.
I'm
The
fucking
morgues are probably
thesaurus,
cold. Morgues are definitely cold.
Before we
took place in
start,
a-
my question I had watching it yesterday was this. Well, before we get into it, but
Yes.
there's 6 places to put
Six.
bodies in their morgue. What if they
Mhm.
have 7 people? What happens? I really want to know. Do they
They're
have
full.
another icebox somewhere? They're just like, no,
Full.
take that 7th one out of here because we all got the room.
They go
I mean,
into overflow.
It cycles through. I mean, they're always putting them, eventually
Oh,
they get
maybe
buried
they take
eventually.
one out and fucking burn one. Yeah,
Burn-
there
yeah,
you
you
go.
know.
You're right,
Hopefully
you're
they'll
right.
have. Hopefully, before they get 6 people in there, they have embalmed one.
Yeah.
They
Why do you want so
probably
many?
got a-
Why do you
they
want so
probably
many
got a
people to
routine.
die?
Probably got a system.
They got a
Small
system.
town, Texas, Oklahoma. Where is it?
Yeah, you
They
take
never
them.
really say.
Take them to whatever the other town.
No,
I
it was
think
a
they're-
town. It
Aren't
was
they
a-
up north? Aren't they up north in
It was definitely
the
no. They're
Northeast?
south because they reference up north and not being there.
Oh yeah, you're right. The dad says that about the peat moss.
Virginia.
They're in Virginia.
They're in Virginia.
Yeah, it's like Marlboro, Virginia, or something.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Yeah, because you think about, and then it's like the Salem witch trials they refer to. That's probably what the up north they were talking about.
Spoiler
It's
alert.
north of whatever. Everyone saw it. Virginia, Massachusetts is north of that. So it all makes sense. It all checks out. Virginia.
Checks. Well, it checks.
Let it met your criteria.
Well, now we know the setting.
Starring Brian Cox, and boy, I love Cox.
He's the man. Always
the
has
man.
been. Emil
There was-
Hirsch was
Great.
good too.
Huh?
You're not a big Emil Hirsch fan, huh?
You know, where's my iPad? I
You
didn't
know-
think I was.
I like Emil Hirsch.
I think I do like Emil Hirsch. I think I gave
I like
Emil
him.
Hirsch a bad rap for some reason. I think it's because of
Do you hate or love Into the Wild?
I hated it.
I feel like-
Wild.
That's maybe why I
Into the
don't
Wild's
like.
That
pretty
was a
great
big-
movie.
You know why I hate? You know what
Like that,
you know
that's,
who I
that's
hate?
whether or not you like them or not.
You hate
I
Sean
hate
Penn.
Sean Penn.
Why do you hate Sean Penn?
I don't know. I have an irrational hate for Sean Penn. I just think he's a fucking nerd.
And that plays in his
Man,
directing.
He's actually
Everything
a really
I've
good
seen him
director,
in,
though.
Yeah, sure.
What else has he
put him
directed
behind the
that's
scenes.
good?
He directed a movie called The Crossing Guard with Jack Nicholson, which is about a guy whose daughter is hit by a drunk driver and played by Jack Nicholson. And the guy's gonna get out of jail, so he kind of like
I'm not
goes a
impressed
little
by this
crazy.
description.
He also went
that's
and
fine.
like hung out with
You're not
El
a very good
Chapo.
movie impresser anyway. You know what I mean?
This is
You don't
true.
watch
Unless
movies.
it's Korean, you're not really into it.
That's true. If you started with, it's a Korean film about a guy who
Korean
Sean
Sean
Penn
Penn.
is-
I'm interested.
Korean Sean Penn made this movie called.
I
The
might be
Crossing
into
Guard.
Korean
Jack
Sean
Nicholson
Penn.
speaks Korean the entire movie. It's like it's very
Be
impressive.
very impressive. Can you
That's
say
fun.
one Korean word right now, Jake?
Anyang,
Nice. What does that
What
mean?
does that mean?
hello.
Nice. Impressive. Most
Guy's a
impressive.
fucking whiz.
Yeah, that's probably all I got. I would have to think of other ones.
I can count in Korean. Hana, dul, set, net. I can count to
Three
4.
more words than me.
I took
Opa means father. Oma means
took-
mother. I know that.
Taekwondo when I was a child. So we counted a lot
Okay.
in Korean.
All right. Well, the guy who directed this movie was Norwegian. You guys, you speak Norwegian?
Negative. I've
We've
seen
been
some
to-
good
I've been to
movies
Norway. Have we
from
been to
that-
Norway?
I've been in
area
Norway with
of
you.
the
That's where we
world.
met Frank Bang.
Yeah. Shout out to Frank.
Narfganab.
Shout out to Frank Bang. At Frank Bang Photography.
Underwater photographer.
Underwater photographer /
Let's go
crazy
find Hitler
person.
stuff. This guy dove into the water and screamed, "Let's go find Hitler stuff!"
Takes
right
great
before.
pictures.
Pretty great. right.
Drone
Anyway,
pilot as well.
There's some good Norwegian films out there though.
There are. This dude directed one of them, Andre Overdahl, called Troll Hunter. It's like a found footage movie about
Yeah, I saw
these
that.
giant trolls. It was actually pretty fun.
It's not
like,
bad. Yeah,
It's
a fun
more of like
movie.
a kind of a comedy element to it too.
Yeah.
And,
Are you from?
what's up?
I was gonna ask if you knew Joachim Trier. He's
No.
another Norwegian director that I've
I
come
don't.
to
What
like.
did he make?
He made most recently a movie called The Worst Person in the World.
It
It was really good.
Was
Who's
it
in
about
that?
Matt Schwartz?
Wow.
That's what I thought going into it, but unfortunately, it was not about him. It was
Worst person.
there's no one that we would know that's like
you hear
famous
that one?
other than there's a dude that's named where the fuck is his name? Anders Danielson Lee, who's in a lot of his movies, who you
What's
might
it about?
recognize. The Worst Person in the World is kind of it's somewhat of like a coming of age type movie about a girl and her dealing with life, and it kind of tells the story like through two relationships over like a few years stint. It's just one of those character movies. It's really good though.
Okay.
And he has like another one called Oslo August 31st that was really good. Did you ever see that one? There's a movie, Paul Greengrass movie, or about that shooting that happened in Norway, where it
No,
was
I've
like
seen
it was
his
like a dude
United
like shot up a
93 movie.
camp.
I know about that story. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I never seen the movie. Was that
The
one of
guy
Paul
who-
Greengrass's
I feel like
first
that
movies?
guy's name was Anders.
Yeah, that the lead in that movie is in a lot of Joaquin Trier's movies. He's good.
I feel like
Okay.
I've seen. I don't know if I've seen a dramatization of that or if I've seen like. I feel like I've seen. I feel like I have.
I mean
seen,
that movie's on Netflix. I saw it when it came out. It
Okay,
was-
yeah,
it's
a while
I
ago, right?
forgot- Yeah, it was a few years ago. I can't remember the title of the movie, but it's like something. It's like a
Man, that was
date.
a fucked up story. That dude just walked around murking kids.
Yeah, that was and that was like before school shootings were cool. So it was like one of the originals.
Is it your opinion that your school shootings are cool?
I mean, everyone's doing it. I'm just saying.
Oh God!
22 July is what that movie was called. And Anders.
It was just a
Danielson
shooting
Lee
in
is his name.
Texas.
Oh yeah. Oh, we know about that one. That was the real bad one.
Yeah,
There was another yesterday. There was one in like Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
and
Kansas or
like,
something,
and I
yeah.
think there was a bunch of. By the time this
Oklahoma and a
podcast comes
mall.
out, there's going to be like several more that we're
Oh,
already
man.
forget about.
Hope so.
Yep, it's unfortunate.
I mean, I hope not.
So
So anyway, Jesus, we're on a
Autopsy of Jane
fucking
Doe.
real happy note here. Let's get to the morgue.
The movie opens with a mass shooting.
No,
or
it doesn't.
well, how does the movie open? It is a bunch of dead people.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
bunch of dead
yeah.
people in the beginning of the movie.
Opens
Movie
on a
opens
house.
In a house where cops are coming upon a crime scene, which they're
Some
trying to
shit
figure
went
out what
down.
happened. Bunch of different dead people in different areas of the house with blood splatter and guts and carnage all over. And it all looks very mysterious because it doesn't really seem to go with the other dead people. You know what I mean? It doesn't really seem to coincide with how that would happen.
Random deaths.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
all their
in
deaths
random spots.
seem random.
Everyone's locked in.
So the cops are looking around, and then the one sheriff gets a little call. He's like, "Get down here, sir!" Goes to the basement, and in the basement, there's just this naked chick buried in the fucking floor under the cement, halfway out of the ground. And they're like, "Who is this?"
Why
And they go,
Schwartz picks this
I don't
movie?
know. but we're
Immediate
gonna
naked
call her
chick.
Jane Doe. So Jane Doe gets taken to a morgue where Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch play a father and son coroner team, right? Like what do you call those
Coroners.
people? Coroner.
Coroners.
Yeah. Well, Brian Cox is a coroner and Emil Hirsch is in training to eventually.
Yeah, he was like a
become
certified
coroner.
medical assistant or something.
Yeah. So he took like a couple classes and got his
Father and
certificate,
son.
and now he can
Father
hang
and son
out there and do
relationship.
shit. Yeah, they were
Like kissing
they were
cousins.
called Austin and Tommy Tilden. Austin and Tommy Tilden.
You just
Austin,
made that
Tommy
shit
Till.
up. Is that really
No.
real?
Those are the
Tilden.
names.
Austin and
Austin was
Tommy T?
Emil. Tommy was Brian.
Yeah. So anyway, it opens up.
I didn't
with,
know they had
so
names.
they're
I thought it
doing
was just dad and son.
they're doing an autopsy on a body that gets brought in that's burnt to a crisp. Looks like a fucking pretzel. Guy's eyes open. It's pretty gross. Literally, they do a fast editing, cutting through it, showing how they do everything in a fast way. Brain comes out. Fucking Brian Cox trying to get Emil Hirsch, tell him what cause of death was because he's trying to train him to be his fucking next in line. And this is where I don't know if you guys picked up, but the third time I watched it, they start dropping like subtle like noise hints. Did you guys hear that? Like fucking Emil Hirsch is always kind of like on alert. Even when he's by himself, like washing his hands and shit, like he's always kind of just looking around. It ends up being the cat in the fucking the fucking thing.
Yeah, there's
but
always
at
shit
that
going
point,
on.
it's just always shit going on with him. You know what I mean? I feel like she was going after him the most for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Little tweaker.
Yeah,
Maybe. Or maybe
Right,
maybe
Well, I don't think weird shit was
he's
happening
doing it
until
all.
Jane entered. The body of Jane, or just Jane entered.
Well, she was on her way. You know what I mean? I think
Okay.
it started there.
Starts queuing it up.
Well,
the
yeah.
It also shows that it cues up that this is an old establishment that they're in. They're in a fucking basement.
Yep.
And it is creepy, and there's creepy shit going. Like it's number one, it's a mortuary, or is it a mortuary where they do
Well,
that?
it's their house that has a mortuary in the basement, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Or is up top the mortuary and down is the
No, usually the
call the-
basements are the mortuaries.
okay.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's like a
a lot of
funeral
time
home.
like the corners,
Funeral
they
homes
live
on top,
at those
that's what it
places and they kind of make the business. It's like the movie Six Dead Feet. 6
6
feet under.
The show
There it
6 feet
is.
Six
under, yeah.
dead feet.
6 dead feet.
I'm into that. I
Yeah.
love feet.
Same.
All right, so they get done doing the autopsy, and then this chick shows up who's played by what's her name? Her name's Emma Roberts. That's her name in the movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't
And
think it's
she showed-
Roberts, but it's Emma.
No,
something.
it is. It
Emil's-
says it.
oh,
It's
Is
Emma
it?
Roberts.
Oh,
her
wow.
character's
Isn't
name
that
is
like
Emma.
a
not-
real name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Eric Roberts' actress daughter's real name.
Oh, that's Eric Roberts. I knew that was related to him.
And
Oh,
you
it's
know
his
Eric
daughter.
Roberts
Mother
personally.
Roberts. Yeah.
I've met him and worked with him Yes.
Can we
but,
get
I mean,
Emma
I
on the
don't really know him.
podcast?
What?
We should
could-
get
we could
Emma
try.
Roberts on the
Should have
podcast.
got her.
She's way
for
more
the-
famous than Eric.
We should have got her for this episode.
That
Well,
would
you'd
have
be
made
like,
sense.
listen, your name is used in this movie. You're not
It's
in
basically
it, but
you.
You're in
Yeah.
this.
How do you feel
You're in
about
it.
this?
Yeah.
How does your
So she
dad
shows
feel
up-
about this? Is your dad in
shows
the
up-
car?
I thought we were trying to get past the dilly dilly. You guys are just dilly dilly.
Quit fucking around.
Quit fucking around, Anthony. You're the one who's like, no more dilly dilly. And he's the dilly dally stuff we saw.
You guys 86.
See, now
that.
we're
I thought we were
spending
just
too much
changing.
time on,
Thought we were just-
arguing about dilly
I
dally.
thought we'd
Oh.
just do it how we did it. Thought we were just trying to get through this one.
Let's do it.
Why would we change it up? You guys didn't want to change shit.
All right, hold on. Where was I? What happened? Oh, the girl shows up.
Emma Roberts shows up.
Emma
Fuck.
Roberts shows up. She's like, "Yo, we're going to this fucking movie, right?" He's like, "Yeah." Actually, hold on. I gotta get past it. So the dad's like, "Yo, we gotta finish this." They finish, and then they hear something weird. Right? That happens first. They hear a noise, and Emil Hirsch goes to look for it, and then she scares him, right? Because he says he's looking in
Yes.
a room. So he's looking
Yeah,
around.
he leaves.
The bell.
So,
the bell on the toe.
so they're fucking with the bell on the toe. No, they don't hear
No,
any
not
of the bell
yet.
on the toe yet. No.
Oh.
No.
They're finishing up the thing. He quizzes him on how did this guy die, and he was like, pretty obvious. He's fucking burnt up. He died from smoke inhalation. He was like, no, he died from something else. He died from like a cerebral hematoma, which means he fell down.
Yeah.
And he was like, you can't always, it's not always the outside that tells you what's going on the inside. Essentially, like,
has a
they drop those hints the whole time too. Like for even with his mom, they say, we don't know what's going. I didn't know what was going on their outside based on what was going on. And she fucking whatever.
This
So
movie's
there was
about depression.
a lot of that.
Some of it, yeah.
There was a lot of drops. Continue, but there's also like, what's up with the mom?
She killed
I mean,
herself.
They imply that she killed herself because Brian Cox was a piece of shit, basically, right?
I can tell you
Okay.
why this movie is about depression.
Do you think that it's the wife that's inhabiting this dead body?
No,
No.
they explain to you how this happens.
They explain.
They explain that
everything
it's a witch.
in dialogue.
Well, she's not even a witch. She was someone who got accused of being a witch. They did these things to her. to try to get
That's
the witch
ambiguous.
out
They
of
didn't.
her.
They did not. They didn't explain.
that was Brian
everything.
Cox's. Brian Cox just had a theory that
Yeah.
basically wrapped up the movie at the end. That's kind of what happened.
Yes.
I mean, sure, but that's what they want you to think happened. At least that is what
Well,
they were getting
or
at.
or she was a witch. I think that was ambiguous. I think she could have either been a witch and that's why they did it to her, or she wasn't
Sure.
a witch and everything that they did to her essentially made her a witch. Kind of like the witch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
true.
That's
Like
all
she
true.
wasn't a witch, but they basically called her a witch until she became a witch.
Yeah. All right. So let me get back to it. So
But also, why wouldn't you think that that the mom couldn't have come back as this witch?
well, because I don't think I would believe that if the mom showed up as a dead body, then I'd be like, okay, cool, and that could have happened. I'm sure they flirted with that.
Well, the mom's been dead for a long time. She just
Still, though, she
conjured
was
her
like-
way into this body that's been buried for 800 years.
They didn't really
really
explore
allude to
that,
that.
thought.
Yeah, they didn't really
Yeah,
allude to
allude
that.
to it.
I'm exploring it.
Yeah, I don't. That's
Sure.
kind of my complaint about this movie.
I'm
where
fucking exploring
everything
it.
Was very like just talked about, and everything was just like very walk through. Like dialogue made it very simple.
Well,
They
this is the thing,
reference
you're-
the
Too on
wife.
the nose with
They
everything.
they
You're also
reference the wife
experience-
so much regarding like
to
not
show
knowing
the-
like that she to show what.
to relationship between like the father son and the family dynamic. I feel like that was more for like to show that like there's a little bit of a break between them because the kid feels that like my dad probably could have treated my mom better. That's why she killed herself, and the dad hasn't never acknowledged that until they're in the elevator. I
And
think
that's why
what that was about.
Cox took the
Did
pain
he
at the
say he
end.
was a piece of shit?
He didn't say he was a piece of shit, but he did
He
say
used
that
to be
like
a piece of
it
shit.
might have been my fault. You know what I mean? Like I might have had a and then Miller's just
Mhm.
like, wow, finally you said it. But Jake, I think the reason why that it's simple like that and a little on the nose is because this movie is about two people in one place that are trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. So their theories and the things that they think are going to happen are the only thing that they have time to say and do. So they
Yeah.
never honestly know what's going on until they figure out in the end that, oh shit, like it seems to be that since she showed up, everything has kind of been going her way, and they kind of come to that realization. So I mean, I don't really agree with you on that. It's like two on the nose because they're not giving you they're not giving you like things that are definitely happening. They're trying to figure it out. Like no one really ever knows. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna guess for the fact that Brian Cox was always explaining like why the body was like this. He's like, well, if this is the case, then this shouldn't have happened this way, and blah blah. Blah. Like he was very scientific with his explanations, but I guess the relationship allowed that to be said, and it made sense in that sense. But it was just to me that almost was a crutch to the audience. But I guess it was necessary in ways and at times. So.
Him being the teacher allowed for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what's sort of like, I guess that very simple, almost educational dialogue was just sometimes like, I'm like, okay, we get it.
But he's not teaching
but
us.
I
He's
get it.
teaching him that. You know what I mean?
I
So,
know. It's
yeah.
true. It allowed,
And-
that's why I'm a little, okay, sure. But it was just kind of a little slow and a little simple for me.
See, I never found this movie slow, and the movie's actually really short. I didn't realize it was less than 90 minutes. Like
Maybe
that
that's
surprised the shit out of
why.
me.
Maybe it's all in Emil Hirsch's head and he's just murking people.
Emil Hirsch. Maybe. Why do you try to figure out things that didn't happen? Like, why
it's-
do you just go with the
Because it's
with the
simple.
actual thing that happened?
Might as well- might
I
as
thought
well,
that's where
like-
they were gonna go with it. At
might
the
as
end when the
well-
cops showed
yeah.
up.
I
I
thought-
thought they were gonna blame Emil Hirsch, but
I was
you
trying to think
notice-
someone was to blame, but I didn't know. Like I mean, yeah, whatever. It was a witch.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool. To find the way it happens is super fucking cool. These people are just thrust upon a dead body that that's their business, and it's just fucking unwinds into this crazy ass fucking dude. Imagine be doing that and like seeing all those fucking symbols and shit inside of her skin. That would be fucking crazy. That would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy. I don't think
I
you
li-
guys
hey,
are just haters.
I like the movie. Who said I didn't like the movie? I'm just coming up with different theories. Listen, when someone releases a movie, it ain't up to them anymore. It's up to me. And whenever I watch it, my
That's
eyeballs
true.
goes into my brain. I can think whatever the fuck I want. Whoever made it can say whatever they want, but that's just what they thought when they were making it. That ain't what it is when I'm seeing it.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Dude.
scream.
Knowledge right there. That's kicking knowledge.
You know who didn't scream enough? Brian Cox. He did not yell cocksucker one time in this movie.
God,
And that's a
Succession's
goddamn
so
shame.
good.
I know.
He's so
I mean,
good.
Even in adaptation, he's like yelling the whole time. Like, why doesn't Cox yell all the time.
I need my cocks
So
loud.
good. Yeah, I need I need some loud cocks.
I
And
need
he was
loud
very,
cocks in my
very
life.
nice to his son. Like I didn't understand what was going on because I'm used to him being
Piece
really
of
shitty to
shit.
his son. I guess maybe 25th Hour he's a good dad, but
Red
still,
That's the
Dragon,
first movie I ever
terrible
saw him
dad.
in.
yeah, he needs to yell cocksucker at least once in everything he does. So I was a little let down there too.
You guys ever watch Deadwood?
No.
Ian McShane. You know Ian McShane?
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
He is a bartender / like runs the city kind of mobstery in the 1500s or whenever it fucking took place.
Mhm.
And he said cocksucker a lot. That's anytime I hear cocksucker, I think Ian McShane.
Okay.
Whatever. So we get to the end.
Think of the cocks.
Where are we?
We're in
girlfriend
very
comes.
Beginning, yeah.
Well, the girlfriend comes in, then you kind of said some stuff like the sheriff showed up, drops off the body. They are tasked with having to figure out the cause of death. As they're doing that, a bunch of weird shit starts happening.
Well, hold on.
And
The
progressively gets
girlfriend-
weirder and weirder.
The girlfriend wants to see the dead body. We just gonna skip over all that? Are we just gonna
Yeah, we can skip over
She
that.
could.
I don't know.
She wanted to
wants
see the dead body. Yeah. What's
Maybe
important
was
about
not
that?
important.
Well, they established the bell. They
The
established
bell,
the bell in that
Which
scene.
is stupid
Yeah, the bell's stupid.
How is the bell stupid? If you were in a morgue
because it's
and you worked in a
2016.
morgue,
Yeah.
what the fuck does that mean?
You
They don't do
you
that
don't
anymore. They
need
know
bells on
shit's
toes
dead.
to make
Yeah.
sure people are dead.
Yeah, they know shit's dead.
That's some fucking
He's
1500
old
shit.
school. He's old school.
Yeah, he
He's
said
the
that.
Cox. He's the Cox.
The Cox rocks, dude.
The Cox rocks. Don't
The
make fun of
Cox
his
rocks.
fucking bell, okay?
He likes the bell, but he says it's pointless. It's strictly for the jump scares.
It's
Okay,
for
keep going.
goofs.
Keep
yeah.
going. Go
Then he
ahead. Keep
jingles the
going.
bell. Cock scares the girl. The end. I mean,
Keep
wait,
going.
not
That's
the
a
end.
good scare.
He leaves.
She never
Yeah,
even gets to
weird-
see the
yeah.
hole in the face.
Yeah.
No.
The autopsy starts happening.
I wanted to see the hole.
Crazy shit happens during the autopsy. Things get spookier and weirder as they go.
Hold on.
Science is off.
Let's start at let's start at the autopsy.
Okay, Schwartz, go.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm on now?
All
I
of
was
her.
trying to speed
So
you up, dude.
basically, she comes in mid-20s.
Appears to be.
Emil Hirsch again. Yeah, another subtlety.
Listen, man, movies are trying to throw it shit at you, so the subtlety is necessary.
I love the movie. I love this
It
movie.
wasn't subtle.
I really
But
like this
it
movie.
worked both ways because it wasn't subtle and it was telling you what it was. And also, he's not supposed to say is. He's supposed to, if he doesn't know she's in her mid 20s, in the autopsy, he's not supposed to say for a
Appears
fact
to
that she is. You goddamn haters.
And she's
Exactly.
like 700 years old, really. Spoiler. Maybe. I don't know
Yeah.
the time period of when that Salem shit happened, but that was probably a few hundred years ago.
They are taking an initial glance at her. He says her waist looks weird. Blah blah blah. Something looks a little too small, and they said the only thing that could have caused that was a corset.
Mhm.
Also,
Actually, they don't look at that until they get inside her body.
When did that go out of style? A couple hundred years ago?
Yeah, that's another little.
Dad, you're old.
Hey, the first time I watched it, I didn't catch that one though.
Fair, neither did I.
the thing is that she's all fucked up. Her
Listen,
ankles are broken.
We could say
Her
you watch it a
bones are
couple times.
shattered.
Once you know she's a fucking 800-year-old witch, you get it. Like you watch it again. It's like it's funny when you watch movies over again. And you're like, damn, it was in your face the whole time. But there's a lot of things in your face the whole time, and unless you know, you don't know. I mean, the candle on the fucking table in the background could have been something that they did that they chose to do, but it wasn't. It was just set deck. But because it wasn't, you didn't think about it. If it's too easy to be like, I should have known when when you watch
I
it
wasn't-
twice,
I wasn't
Bruce
expecting
Willis is
which.
dead. Spoiler.
I wasn't expecting witch. I was expecting more possession.
The
It felt
Titanic
that way.
sinks.
And then the witch thing
Spoiler.
happened. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's a witch movie. Cool.
Mel
Sorry for
Gibson
jumping
kills
ahead again.
Jesus in the end.
I mean,
Spoiler.
witches are pretty awesome, in my opinion, and this is a pretty clever way of bringing a witch into the modern day and being able to do it in an original way.
You know what I liked more? I mean, obviously the witch is better. We can all agree on that,
Ooh.
right?
Oh,
We're
for
making
sure. The Witch
comparisons
is one of the
now.
best movies ever made.
Of course. There was a movie, Schwartz, you and I saw in the theater. What was it like? You Will Not Be Alone.
Yes,
something
that
like
was
that.
not better though.
You didn't like that. I thought it was pretty clever. I liked it.
I gotta watch it again.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
I'll
Just
never
like
watch it.
It's like a what is it? Icelandic, which it's like another one of those
All right, I'm
from
in.
that area, Scandinavian. I forgot what country it's from, but it's
The trailer
It's-
looked amazing.
yeah, it was pretty cool movie. It's very clever story, very interesting. It's like a shape shifting witch type person.
Did you see her?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's fucked up. It was a fucking weird movie.
dude.
Scorsese.
Sometimes you don't see the
I
witch.
liked it.
The
This
craziest
witch,
part,
you basically didn't see this witch the whole time, and yet she was haunting them without doing a goddamn thing. She
Which
was
was
fucking
dope.
with them. That was a cool thing. Is it kept cutting to her, and I thought a couple times I was like, these are kind of weird and not unnecessary cuts, because who am I to tell them where how to cut the film? But you realize they're showing you that this bitch ain't doing nothing. She's just laying there. They want you to know that she's like in the end, you realize she's been fucking with them without like without being scary in a way.
well, even the storm that you're hearing the whole movie is only in happening to them. You know what I mean? Because at the end, on the
We'll talk about
on
the end. Do we even
What?
want to go to the end?
Oh no! All right, so let's keep going then.
Mhm.
So they realize that she has no external trauma, but her ankles and her wrist have been broken, her lungs are blackened, she's suffered third-degree burns, and they also find all kinds of cuts and scarring on like the inside of her, like
Like on her internal organs.
in her vagina and on her heart and all that shit. So people have been
And her tongue was
mutilating
cut
her.
out.
Her tongue was cut out.
And they found a thread in her
moss.
throat.
I also peat moss under her nails.
They found
which I
peat
guess
moss in her
isn't
nails.
a thing you use nowadays.
Well, peat moss is very popular, just not where they are, I think.
Not where they
so
are,
where
yeah.
they to find them there. Because he kept saying that. He's like, you don't see that much. I'm like, pizza very, but then he just says you just see it up north. And then that's when
Also,
they kind of hint at where up north.
The radio starts doing weird things too and playing weird music. And as soon as they start the autopsy, you hear like almost like a murderous scream of a woman like pleading for help and shit like that. And they're like, oh, I wonder what that was. Like that to me would have scared the fuck out of me. I would be like, oh, okay.
There's like a
That's it.
storm around
That's
them. and
also
shit
when
like
it starts
that.
like thundering and lightning too. And like there was all sunny like earlier.
The radio comes on and is like, there's a storm I'm blowing.
Yeah.
They
the
let
radio
sunshine in.
Is fucking
She's
scary.
communicating through the radio, dude.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well,
and then I
because
guess-
let that song "Let the Sunshine In" is talking about a pact with the devil.
Yeah.
If you listen to the song,
Hail
he
Satan.
he cuts it off. Hail Satan. He cuts it off right before it says devil. But you know me, I watch everything with subtitles, so I saw devil.
Interesting. That's good to know.
Yes.
Another thing that's being thrown at you, you know what I mean? Tons of information. Anyway, so so what happens? So then the blood that they took from her starts leaking out of its little vial for no reason in the fucking
Yeah, what was
fridge.
up with that?
I think that
It
was just
just-
her fucking being like, you ain't gonna have my blood, bitch.
The blood was fighting back.
Yeah, the blood was just like, you ain't gonna have my
Because it
blood.
was alive still.
Yeah, because it was alive. And so he cleans it up, and then the dad starts opening her up. And then for some reason, why does Emil Hirsch leave to go into the hallway where he sees the girl in the mirror? Because that's when it really starts. Why does he leave the room at that point? Because he hears something, right? And he wants to go check it out. 'Cause that's when he finds the cat in the vent too. So he hears a noise and he wants to go check it out. And then in the hallway, they have a mirror that at the top of the corner that lets you see behind each
corner mirror,
corner mirror.
like a 7-Eleven mirror.
There you go. And in that mirror, he sees the shape of I guess a woman, and it looks fucking pretty ominous. And he rounds the corner, and it's not there. And then he goes into the rooms, checking to see what the fuck's up. And he didn't say anything to his dad about it. What do you think that was about? Because I probably would have said something. I'd be like, yeah, there's somebody in the fucking mirror.
He probably just thought he was seeing shit.
Maybe.
I think
don't
because he was
know.
already like seemed to be making mistakes or something, and maybe he just didn't want to like.
Yeah, he was dropping shit. He
Yeah,
thinks
I
he
don't think he
it seemed
wants
like he
something
kind of
stupid.
thought whatever happened to the blood was his fault.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think maybe that was it. He was just like, I don't need
He
to
was trying to
fucking
clean up
add
the shit,
this.
yeah.
Like we got shit going on. I don't need to be like, hey dad, I think I saw something in the thing. When you turn the corner and it was not there. I mean, how many times have you done that? How many times do you think you see something, turn around, it's not there?
I've never done that. That's
Every
what's
day
crazy.
of my life.
Really?
What really? Like what you've seen something like he saw in a mirror one time maybe, or like in
Not-
the corner of your eye?
I mean, I've definitely like But I mean, it's always explainable. That's what I'm saying. It's all there's
Okay.
it's not like I've seen an apparition and I looked
Okay.
and it wasn't there. It was like a towel hanging on a thing or a shadow going across the, but certainly I bet with the amount of weed I smoke, I fucking have freaked out a couple times. What the fuck was that? Oh Jesus,
Hmm.
done that a lot.
The only time in my life I've ever like seen or felt something that I feel like was ominous or in a bad presence was one night when we were at like a
Let me be clear. I
hayride.
never felt that. I've never felt like it was anything other like it was always explainable for me. It's always
Word.
continue.
We were at like a hayride, haunted hayride, and we were leaving one night. We were like, and all the cars were parked like in a giant, big vacant space that was all just like dirt on the ground. And I remember like I was like probably like 20 feet ahead of the rest of my family, just walking to the car. And I remember looking out like into the distance, probably like a couple 100 feet that way, and like seeing something, and thinking that like what the fuck, like why is no one else seeing this? And then I turned around and no one was looking, and got closer, and I just freaked the fuck out and like ran back to them, and then it was gone. And I was like, what the fuck was that? It was
Hmm.
like
We're at a
it was
haunted
like a hooded
hayride.
figure. Yeah, but it
You
wasn't
think it was
a
like a
person.
dude?
No, it wasn't, because the person wasn't there anymore when we went back. It was weird. It was just weird. Never in my life have I had since or before that though.
Hmm.
I used to
I
work
would
in a haunted
love
house.
I would love to see a ghost. That would make my life, because I'd be like, oh my God. But I just don't. I'd like to believe, but I haven't seen one, so I guess I can't believe.
You could believe. You could believe. Belief is you can have faith.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I
I'd
don't
like to
believe
see
it. I
something.
don't believe like I don't believe 99.9% of paranormal shit that I hear or potentially see.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I just don't because I just it
it's
doesn't
got to be
see,
pretty obvious.
I just need the logic behind
Yeah.
it, or I see logic and I don't go down rabbit holes to make me think that I don't know.
All right, so let's go back to this, I guess then. So
I
he
don't
goes
believe
to
in ghosts, but if you show me one, I will believe.
same here. I want to see one. Um, so he goes to check out the fucking noise. He sees the girl's shadowy figure in the mirror. Goes around, there's nothing there. Starts to check the rooms. Goes into one room and he hears something in the vents. Obviously, everyone and him are like, oh, it must be the cat. Opens up the vent. Something goes past. He falls down, and if you notice, the shot where he falls down there is the same shot, the very last shot of the movie. Did you guys notice that when he fell in the end? It's also in the same exact angle of him going down. It's pretty interesting.
I did not notice that.
A lot of
Didn't notice.
foreshadowing right there too. So he falls down, and then he looks back. The dad comes. He looks up and he sees a figure in the door, and he realizes it's his dad. And then he looks back in the fucking vent, and he realizes that the cat is really badly injured, like someone
The
snapped
cat's
it
all
in fucking
fucked up.
half. Like someone literally snapped it in half, which they didn't really seem to give a shit about that. They were like, well, how the fuck could this happen? Like, they're just like, oh, that must have happened to the vent. Like, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me if a cat was like snapped in half. And
Well, it
then
just
Yeah,
looked all
killed it and
fucked
burned it.
up. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
and then he snapped it.
he snapped his neck. So they go to the next room.
Oh, I
and
got
they
a
put
great killing a cat story.
I know your story. I've heard
It's
this
fucked
story.
up. It was necessary, but fucked up.
Necessary?
I don't want Jake to think I just go around killing cats.
No.
Yeah, we can save
mean-
that story for another one.
Yeah, it had to happen. I got to pee.
So they get back to the autopsy after. Well, they put the cat in the furnace, and you realize at this point that the cat means something to Brian Cox's character, because he's super kind of. He's like, give me a minute, and you realize that the cat was his wife's, and that was the kind of last thing he had from his wife. I didn't realize that till the second or third time I watched it, but
Yeah, so his last thing to hold on to, or whatever he
Yeah.
says.
so they go back
Very
to
John
the
Wick.
autopsy.
Very
He
pig.
goes back to doing the autopsy, and that's when they find the tooth wrapped in the cloth in her stomach lining or wherever that was.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah, they
open it
pulled
up,
her molar out, wrapped it in a witch cloth, and put it in her stomach.
put it in her stomach. Yeah,
Mhm.
Is that before or after they skin her?
who knows what
That was
fucking-
before they skinned her, because then later they saw the same
Ooh,
shit
shnikes.
inside of her.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that was insane.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's markings on this cloth.
Yeah, Roman numerals.
Roman numerals. Do they decipher it right away? Because eventually,
Well, they
Emil.
find him. They find the same ones on the inside of her skin, and then all the lights in the room suddenly explode, and then the fucking morgue fucking icebox doors start to open. You hear it, and you hear the plop of the fucking bodies hitting the floor, and like a little scurrying, and fucking Emil Hirsch is like, "What the fuck?" And you're like, "Holy shit!"
Wait, they're
Can you
not in the
imagine
room
that?
anymore?
No, they're
How
in
did-
the room, and then the morgue, but the bodies in the morgue.
Oh, those are in the
They're
other
gone.
room.
No, they're gone. They're in the same room with them, but they're
Yeah,
gone.
I
But
remember
you heard
that.
when the lights went out, you heard the bodies like flop onto the floor and like walk. That was
Uh,
terrifying, dude. Imagine
yeah,
being
the
in
bells
there,
ringing and shit.
dude. That was crazy. That was crazy.
So that so there so from this point on, dead bodies are the ones that are kind of freaking out, or
Yeah, well, they're the
dead
ones that
bodies are the bad guys.
They're the ones that are being used to fuck with them, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
So all the lights are and the morgue bodies are missing. They decide to leave, but the elevator doesn't work.
yes.
And then he goes into they run to his office, the dad's office, and then fucking Brian Cox lifts off his shirt, and you start to see like under his skin, he's starting to get like really bad bruising and
Well,
shit.
he got beat up.
Oh yeah, in the hallway, right?
Yeah.
Before because
He
what by
Emil
what?
ran in the room, and Brian Cox got like he tripped and got pulled or something. Like
Oh no.
Well,
So
don't
when
forget
reason-
they killed the girl. Brian Cox killed the
No,
girlfriend.
That's later.
We haven't
That's
gotten
later.
there yet.
Oh,
That's way
I
later.
thought that
That's
was
like the end.
then.
Ooh, spoiler.
That wasn't exactly the end.
Ooh,
It's pretty
spoiler.
close to the end.
It's not the end, but it's the next scene.
Okay, sorry.
They haven't gotten the axe yet. They get.
I thought they killed the girl and then he gets beat up by the fucking zombie.
gets
No,
beat up a couple times.
This is the
Oh,
first
okay.
time.
Gotcha.
First time he just gets like caught up and then beat up. The second time he gets locked in the bathroom by the thing.
Okay.
But
So yeah,
but
that's
before
this
that,
time. That's this time. This is with the bathroom time.
uh,
So they
Time.
they go into his office, and Tommy where he goes to the bathroom. They turn to the autopsy room and examine the corpse, and the door locks itself. And then he gets because wait, don't they say that they're gonna burn her at some point?
they
Try to, and then like the fire fucking goes everywhere.
Well, no,
is that
that's what they say,
before or
they're like-
after
they're
they
like-
kill the girl? So
Well,
they, at a
that's
certain
before.
point they realize
Oh, it is
it's
before.
it's the witch that's
That which is
doing
now.
this,
Yeah.
or
I
it's
think they realize
her
that
that's
now.
doing this.
And
They
they're like,
try to
"Let's
do
They
it.
burn
don't
her
know it.
body."
They
Right.
haven't called her a witch yet. They're just saying. Right
She's
now,
doing it.
Brian Cox thinks she was a sex traffic worker that was murdered.
Oh yeah, that's
Like
true.
that was essentially, he's like, this is the only thing that I can see that's possible. But once they start opening her up and everything they find inside of her is all fucked up, then
Yeah, nothing makes sense. Like she's
Nothing
burned on
makes
the
sense.
inside.
they,
I like
they cannot find a
Cause of death.
cause of
Yeah.
death. And at what point? I think that's the point where they say we got to get the fuck out of here. That we passed over. He takes a vial of her blood, puts it under a microscope, and sees that it's still alive. It's still
they realize she's still alive.
got live
Yeah.
cells.
Which
in it.
I think is right here. And then they say, well, let's bring her to the crematory. The door locks. And then Emil
says,
Hirsch's like,
"Fuck
fuck it.
it.
We'll burn her right here.
Yeah.
Set her on fire. Nothing happens to her. And then that's when, what happens there? Like someone tries to come in, right?
Yeah, they hear like somebody's banging on the door, and then they grab
Oh, they hear
or
the elevator
they grab
turn
the
back
axe.
on.
He cuts a hole in the door so he can see, and he's looking and he's waiting for the elevator to open up. The elevator opens up, nobody's out there anymore, and when they see the guy, it's the guy with the hole in the face.
Yep.
It's the burnt guy. It's one of the
Yeah.
three other
Corpses. Yeah.
and then
so they
he
hear
sees
the
the door
elevator.
open through the mirrors. They still have to go around the corner.
Yeah.
And the door opens, so they go out. He grabs the axe. They both go for the elevator. That's when the shit goes down.
They get into the elevator, then it won't close, and you hear the fucking dude with the little bell on him, which is the shotgun guy coming towards
Yep.
him.
And you
that
see
in
him,
the
too.
distance.
You
That's,
see-
that's pretty fucking scary.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking scary. And then they get in the elevator, but they can't close it. Fucking Brian Cox is waiting there with the axe. Guy comes, axes him, and then you realize that he axed the fucking girlfriend, and she's dead. She's dying. And then Emil Hirsch starts fucking crying and all that
That's
shit.
fucked up.
It was really fucked up. And Brian Cox is like, oh shit. And they get back in the elevator, and that's when they have the heart to heart about the mom. And you realize that Brian Cox, his wife was depressed, and he probably had a little bit to do with not helping her and hating her.
And
hating her life.
that's why she's come back and she's torturing us right now.
that could
Again,
they coulda went
similar
that
to
way.
Pig.
They could have went that way.
Yeah.
Like from the perspective of the other guy, where his wife tried to kill herself and she was on life
Oh,
support,
so
and then there was the son and
this-
daughter and son.
No, the more I think about it, the more it doesn't make sense. I'm
This
just
movie's
just
basically
throwing
Pig with
theories out there.
witches.
You know, it's a movie podcast.
So this is where they
NPC.
realize that she's been kind of causing everything. I think this is where they come to that realization in the
Yeah.
elevator, and then they go back to the autopsy room. That's where they see her brain is still alive, and then inside the cloth they see the markings that refer to a Bible verse. It's called Leviticus 20:27, which condemns witches. And the year was, it says 1693, which is also the date of the Salem witch trials. So that's when they're like, oh shit, she's a fucking witch. She's
It says something
getting
about
buried.
making a pact with the devil, right?
I'm
I
looking
don't think
right
it talks
now.
about witches in the Bible.
No, it says that if you're considered to be a witch, you will be killed. That's what it says.
So they thought she may have been a witch.
Well, hold on. I can click on
Yeah.
actually what it
'Cause
says.
she was a
Like, what the?
whore.
Because she was a who?
So Cox wasn't wrong.
I'm just thinking the actual line from the Bible is probably a little less like if you're a witch, you suck. More of like if you.
Well, they read
Decide
it
to
in
pack-
the movie, unless it was not the actual line.
Witch ain't easy.
Which ain't easy. So, all right. So they're like, oh shit, she's a fucking witch. And then they realize that even more at that point that she's been doing anything. So Brian Cox is like, leans into her and is like, listen, take me. I won't fight you. Let my boy go. And then seemingly that does happen. His wrists and ankles and inside start to get all fucked up, and she's starting to heal. Her body heals, and she's using his power, his or whatever. And then you think it's over because everything goes back to normal. And actually, no. Brian Cox
Oh, it
is
never does.
dying.
Yeah,
He's
Brian
dying from
Cox
all
killed.
this,
Yeah,
and he
Brian
asks
Cox
Milhurst to put him out of his misery, and he does. So he's got to kill his dad, but then his eyes are still fucking blue. So she looks normal now. So she's now all the shit they did to her.
So
during
did
her
you expect her
autopsy.
to like get up
I
at any point?
I actually did, yeah.
And she like
I
healed
like
and
that
shit,
she
right?
didn't.
Her like
She
cane.
healed,
complete-
yeah.
Yeah.
she
As
completely
so,
healed.
yeah, he said, "Let him go, and I won't fight you." I don't
I
think
won't
he
fight
knew
you.
that was going to happen, but he essentially took all of her ailments onto his own,
Right.
which healed her up,
his-
sealed her right up, like
His
fucking
theory that
Wolverine.
she was getting revenge on the people close to her because everyone killed her and because of her death, and then that was why she was buried in the
Yeah.
beginning. This was all Cox theory. It was like a big long Cox like drawing a diagram on the fucking chalkboard. He's like, "Here's what I think this is," and that's
But
kinda
otherwise,
how
how
we
are
landed on
you?
the witch stuff.
Otherwise, though,
he's-
dude,
and
without
they're
other
they're
characters,
feeling.
without other characters to discuss it, though, Jake, there's not many ways to get that across besides
No,
for
you're right.
that.
It was.
Like
I mean, it was.
that's-
yeah.
There's not many.
It was
And
interesting for a bottle movie.
They're
Well,
feeling the pain that
Cool.
that they're making her feel. That was the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that was
right?
her
That's
reaction,
why
yeah.
like she's, and then in the end the ultimate
But she
pain
also
of her
felt
death.
all that pain from that autopsy, which is crazy. So
That's what I'm
they
saying. That's what I'm
inflicted
saying.
that
So
on her,
every
yeah.
time they fucking cut her open, and every time essentially they inflicted another thing on her, that's when shit went down. That's when they
Yeah.
were like, she was like, all right. And that kind of goes back to whether she was a witch or not, which I guess she, or I like the theory that she wasn't, because she was innocent and all that happened to her while she was innocent, as these two victims are innocent. So her victims are innocent, just like she was when they fucking did it to her and turned her into a witch. But do you think that turned Brian Cox into a witch? Or a wizard?
I think it just turned him. I
Or
don't
what?
know.
I think she
Turned
just
him
doesn't
dead?
really
Question.
possess him.
I
She
think
just
killed him.
possesses whoever she wants.
Now, is she done with possessing?
Well, listen. So let's go. So anyway, so you think everything's back to normal, and then Emil Hurst starts to hear the sheriff's voice up top from the entrance say, "Hey, we moved the tree that fell on the entrance. Come on out." He gets up there, goes to the top of the fucking exit, realizes that that's not true, and that moment you see his face, he's like, "Oh shit, this isn't over." Turns around.
Well, his voice,
his
the guy's
dead
voice,
dad's there.
the guy's voice goes from like, "Hey, come on out, you can get
Open
out
up,
now," and then it
open up,
says, "Open up," and
your
then
heart.
it went into the song. And that's when
Oh,
he
I didn't realize
realized,
that.
this shit
It's still
sucks.
going.
Turns
So he
around, and
turns out
again,
his dead
did you
dad
not
there.
expect her to be on the stairs when he turned around?
I did.
I was oh shit, she's coming for him. And then
But it was the dead dad.
So he is a witch.
Well, she's possessed. He's
He
possessing her.
passed it on to him.
Yeah.
But why would she
But
pass
no,
it on to
'cause
such an
wait.
old body?
But she
'Cause
just
wait.
goes back. She just goes back to the
Back
witch
and
thing
forth, yeah,
because
so
she's dead again on the fucking
So
gurney or whatever.
Emil Hirsch falls down the fucking stairway, dies, and then the next scene is the cops coming in the beginning to basically see another crime scene that they can't explain what the fuck happened.
Like, what the fuck just
Like, what the
happened
fuck
here?
is going on here? Which is so fucking cool to me. Like, I love that aspect of it. That just happened again, and he can't figure it out. And then he's like,
It would
"Get
have
this
looked
body."
like Emil Hirsch killed a bunch of people, killed his
It
dad, and
did.
killed himself. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it looked like. It would have looked like I would have thought, but
Yeah, but I mean,
And maybe that's what happened.
who knows? They didn't really
Maybe.
explore that idea.
Um,
Why don't
and
they
then the
explore
bodies in
anything?
the bodies in the fucking vehicle, the emergency vehicle, the ambulance to get out of there, and the toe twitches. So that seems to me that that's the first time her body's moved. So maybe now she's gonna be able to get up and fucking start fucking with people.
You think there's
Maybe.
gonna be another one?
I don't know. There should be. This movie definitely deserves a sequel.
Didn't her
'Cause that
nose
was-
move, or was that just the fly?
That was
That was the fly.
What was up with
it,
that?
though?
We didn't talk about that.
Was
What
it,
up with
though?
that? Does it flies?
know.
Why a fly? You know, I didn't really think
Oh.
that was that cool.
No, there's some silly shit.
Well, what
I-
would you rather? I think maybe that was just to fake that she moved. But again, we don't know. Maybe she did. Maybe she felt the fly. I was like, yeah.
I still thought the ending was kind of corny because the cop was all like yeah, like he seemed to almost like have figured it out too. He's like, well, we just got to get her out of here. I don't want her in my county. Like, send her over to the
Yeah. What was up with
what-
that? Why did he know? Did he know what she is?
So that's kind of what I didn't like, is it almost seemed like he figured out that like there was something going on with her, and it was kind of just simply wrapped up in that. I thought that, I don't know, the whole ending kind of felt like rushed to me.
If I was the cop, and that's what I saw. I found a house of murdered people
Yeah,
and this girl buried in the basement. Seemingly nothing wrong with her, and then I took her to the morgue.
yeah.
And had my guys look at her, and they had to figure it out. And then I came, and they were all dead, and she's just there. I'd probably say the same thing. I don't know if he necessarily knew exactly what was going on, but he knew enough that he didn't want to fucking deal with her anymore.
Yeah, maybe. This felt a little rushed, and then it cut to the toe, and I'm like, I thought the toe move was kind of corny, honestly. But is that what it was implying? That is she now alive?
so,
Like,
yeah.
she
I
can
don't
move
know.
around?
I
so.
think
that's what it was supposed to imply.
I gave this ending I took like 2 points from the ending after
The ending was
it
definitely the weakest
continued.
part. The ending was
Yeah.
definitely.
If
the
it just
weakest part.
ended with him
Very-
dying
Push through.
and that was the last frame and it went to black, I would have been fine with that. I didn't need to see any more. I didn't need to see anybody come in. I didn't need to see the I liked the toe wiggle. That was the only thing I was happy with at the end. I was
I
like,
kind of like
got
seeing
'em."
the cops come in though and realize that it happened again and they can't figure it out. That was
But
kinda
that
cool.
took all the sting out of all the wind out of the sails for that ending. There's more. Oh, okay. Like that. If that was it, that would have. Ooh, nice. Wow, cool. Oh, okay. There's more. Like that's. It took it out for me. I gave it less points because it continued.
Yeah. Or I would have even liked if they, like, my theory, like the whole cops being like, did Emil Hirsch go on a fucking rampage? But he did say like, oh, I know these guys. This isn't, I know what it looks like. Yeah, the cop does say that. He's like, I know what this looks like, but I know these guys and I can tell you that's not what it is. So maybe that's what he's implying, because it looked like clearly Emil Hirsch did kill his dad and then he fell from the thing. So it almost looked like he killed himself. There's suicide history in the family. So maybe because the mom killed herself, but it was all these things like they didn't, like you said, they didn't really touch upon most things. They just kind of kept it very bottled into what it was.
Well, I think it's because you were supposed to just be a part of the experience that these guys experienced in this moment, as opposed to having all the facts of why. I think that's what it was more about. Like, you're experiencing it with them. That's, you know what I mean? It was just the two of them, so it kind of you
Yes.
went about it in that way.
That's true. Sure.
There's a lot
I
of
thought this was
great versions
really-
of Leviticus 20:27.
I thought this was a really, really cool horror movie, though. Very original. I never seen a movie with this plot before. I thought the acting was really good. I thought there were some really scary parts to it, and I really liked the setting. Like, I think like a mortuary is kind of a cool place to set a movie. I've always thought that. And I thought that the whole I'm a big fan of like actually like witch movies too. I think witches are kind of cool.
It was a solid
really like
witch
this
movie.
movie.
It's a solid horror movie. Good
Yeah, it's a
jump
good movie.
scares, good thrills, good build up. Could have had a great ending.
Yeah, the ending is definitely the weakest part.
it just did. If they just stopped, that's all I'm thinking. If they just stopped at him dying, I would have liked it a lot better. That doesn't take away from how good the movie was, though. I know Jake hated it. Did you know that the term John Doe goes back to the medieval times?
No.
I did not.
Yeah. It goes to from old court cases. If they had essentially, they used to do court cases like you would put the two top teams in Madden in see who won. They would do court cases like that, fake court cases, and they would give the fake plaintiff and fake defendant names, and they would call them John, and they would actually call them John Doe and Richard Roe. So Richard Roe and John Doe are the kind of the same thing. Richard and John were very common names back in those days. So that was that. And Doe and Roe were two popular names for deer. So they kind of just made that up. And since John Doe was always the defendant, it had like the negative connotation. So that's kind of why it's stuck around for like dead people or like criminals that they haven't found yet that are called John Does, stuff like that. Interesting, right?
Interesting. I don't know the history to those. So I was kind of, I always wondered why they used Doe. Like John is very obviously that's like a common name, but they don't want to use they don't want to call him a John Smith because there's a million John Smiths. So it wouldn't make sense to refer to like this unknown person as like a common name. So the Doe, I guess maybe it's not a common name for a person. So.
From what I was looking at, there's no definitive answer on that other than like the theory of a deer. They were both named for like a doe is a female deer and a roe is a type of deer, and those deer were very common in the Middle Ages and for both like harvesting and farming purposes. They had deer farms.
Yeah, deer moose.
Yeah. What did you give this rating, Anthony? What was your rating?
Great question. Great question, Schwartz. I think I gave it pretty high. In the sevens.
I'm talking about your personal rating.
Yeah. In the sevens.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh
wow. Got to be honest. Can't lie.
This is a good movie.
There it is. Autopsy of Jane Doe. So the beginning. See, I didn't choose the beginning and the end. So the end, I gotta drop it. I gotta drop it to like the 5.2.
Yeah.
And then beginning. How did it begin? It started off.
Started at the house of a bunch of dead bodies, which was it was okay.
And then it went into them.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
And then it went to them doing their autopsy set to that music, which is pretty dope.
6.6. Not in the 7. 6.6 though. But if you'll notice, the acting I gave an 8.8, and the story and / writing and Emil Hirsch. That was kind of like how I started this whole thing. Is I think I don't give Emil Hirsch enough. I know I don't give Emil Hirsch enough credit. I think he's a fine actor.
I liked the beginning too when they introduced the characters of them two, and they set it to the music, and it was like them kind of like just going about their day, having a good time. I thought that was fun.
Having a good time in the mortuary.
Yeah,
I know. It's just
kind of setting everything up in a non-boring way.
Right.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. It was quick. I jumped. I watched it at night alone in my room here, and I was genuinely like goosebumpy the whole time. At a certain point I closed my window.
Ooh.
So it and I like it. I like a scary movie. I want to be scared, and this got me. This got me in good places.
Cool.
Yeah, good movie.
It was all right.
Watch it or don't.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Next movie.
Oh, we got to rate. We got to put it on our scale, right?
Are we still doing those?
Are we not doing that?
I was thinking. Oh, I don't know if I said it already. I was thinking, like, let's have a horror section and like rank horror movies. That way, we're not going to rank everything together.
Yeah, I think we got the 100 movies in. I feel like ranking the 100 was fun.
Oh, so we don't. Let's not rank it then. I'm cool with that.
Cool.
All right, cool.
We'll bring it
I
up.
mean, I like rank. Like, why don't we can do like the next. You guys don't like the category idea, like the horror?
No, I like that idea.
Yeah, we could still rank them.
Categories.
So let's just
out
start
of
this.
the big picture thing, or you just want to start a new rank system?
I mean, we can go back and do the old ones, but I think we just
Cool.
we can. I have no problem doing that. I mean, it'll take a while, but no, I say we just
No,
start a new
yeah.
one. We'll just call
New
this
one,
100 episode 101.
It's like a new
I
season.
guess it'll be 102 because Star Wars is episode 2. Yeah, season 2.
Yeah.
Make me
season
watch
2.
movies.
Cool.
We should call it making you watch movies now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, horror number 1.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. 'Cause I feel like that's sort of where we started this podcast with too, was sort of watching some horror movies in the beginning. So I was gonna stick with horror.
Fuck yeah.
This one, if this is cool with you guys, because you still have to rent it on the Amazon because it's new. It's a new one. It's X. Have you seen
That's
X?
like $20.
No, it
Someone
just
bought
dropped
it.
to 6 for rental.
Oh.
To buy it's 20 if you're cool with that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather buy it.
Well,
I
then
don't
buy
know
it
why
for
I spent
20.
$20 on it.
It's worth 20. I think
Well,
it's
then
worth
we
it.
can
I
wait.
saw it twice
You guys want to
already.
wait a
we
week?
can wait. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
I
wait.
saw it in the
I'll
theater
pick a
twice.
movie.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you pick a movie.
The Haunted World of El Super Beasto,
Really? Okay.
Damn.
directed by Rob Zombie. Damn it. What do you mean, damn it?
I just don't want to do this one. I don't like Rob Zombie,
Perfect.
and I don't really. And I'm kind of I'm animated a lot of times, so
I can't wait to have
I
this
guess it's
conversation.
really playing into making me watch it. I guess you're making me do this one, and I will do it.
I like that. I appreciate that. You let me know if you got to buy it. I'll send you the cash.
El
I
Super
don't think this
Beasto.
is-
The Haunted World of El Super Beasto.
Is it anywhere?
Maybe like Shudder.
I don't know. Hold on, let me look at the.
Why is my thing so
Nah, it's not on anything.
Damn it. All right. Well,
Hold on, let's even see if it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's
That's the
probably
only
on
place we can
Amazon.
rent it.
yeah, Amazon. Nope. No, it's not. Okay.
So there's not okay. If there's not a way to watch it, then
Next
Yeah.
movie TBD. I'll come. Let me come up with another one because I think
Oh, yeah,
I think it's
you
my
can.
turn.
You can. It's right here. It's right here.
yeah, you can rent it.
You can
Oh, you
rent it for
can?
$1.99 or
Yeah.
$2.99. Yeah, you can rent it.
Wait, is
You
this
can
like
buy
a
it for
wrestling?
$8.
Is this a wrestling movie?
It's got
He is
wrestling in
El
it.
Super Beasto is a professional wrestler. Yes, Jake.
Fucking backhand, dude. Now I'm excited.
Yeah, look at him.
It's you can buy it for 8. I'm gonna buy it for 8. I don't even fucking
And
care.
are you a Paul Giamatti fan?
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti's in it. Are you a the guy who plays El Super Beasto is a very famous comedian who I'm sure you'll know.
Oh, Tom Papa.
Tom Papa. It's Tom fucking
Yeah.
Papa plays El Super
Nice.
Beasto.
I don't see Paul Giamatti listed,
Don't worry about it.
but I'm in for Tom Papa. I'm in for pro wrestling. I can get past Rob Zombie. All right, fuck yeah, dude. Haunted World of El Super Beasto.
Paul Giamatti's definitely in the movie.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I'm just not seeing him on the the Amazon.
fine.
part
Don't
of it.
matter.
I'm sure if I look on the IMDb.
Sherry
there.
Moon Zombie. Oh, and Brian Posehn. Oh, I forgot Brian Posehn.
Can I just say, of course, Sherry Moon Zombie's in it. You didn't even need
Yeah, I
to fucking
know.
tell me.
I didn't. I said Sherry Moon Zombie kind of with a downward talk on it. Sherry Moon Zombie's in it, and she does.
So we
this a
can
lot.
hear like a. Yeah, great.
Like,
We're
that's
gonna hear that
her
a few
thing.
times.
Her name's Susie Q. It's kind of a musical too, so you guys are
Wow.
gonna hate this.
Her name's Susie Q.
I've seen
Yeah,
this movie.
or no,
How
Susie
original.
X. Susie X.
I've seen this movie like 3 times. It's very
That's
fun.
kinda
And
cool.
It's very short. It's only an hour and 17 minutes.
Ease.
All right.
It's a comic book movie. We'll talk about it.
Okay. We'll talk about it next week.
The Haunted World of El Super Beasto, available wherever you can find it, and for $1 on Amazon Prime.
Amazon.
Shout out to the big cat.